right, beautiful.
Yep.
Nino, tell me, what's the mechanic business like now?
It's
competing
complete
with the
and
other.
utter dog. I've thought about giving up multiple times, almost nearly every morning since I really went in a top gear on Saturday. A lot of it has to do with incompetence throughout the supply chain, where there's so many layers to it, and everyone's trying to get a little bit of money, trying to make more money than the next. And on the opposite end, the customers simply don't want to pay because they want to buy their houses and this and that, which is understandable. That with the lack of materials in the market and the amount of time that's necessary to put pots together, it's pretty rough. However, after I'm done moping, I get right the fuck back up, and I said I say I'm gonna find the new solution. And so
How long before LS Customs is up and running? Is that something that you haven't given up on?
oh, we're up and going as of 2 days ago.
So you have an actual facility that I can drive
Yep.
to. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
I'd like
absolutely.
to do it. Okay, perfect. I thought you were operating like this, stop road repair until
No.
that
Oh
place
no.
was operational.
So we're roadside assistance and repair, and I think it's I like to go to when things like we don't have any customers in the lot. I like to drive up to where the customer is, lets them get right to back to work a little bit quicker, and then on top of that, I get to get out of the shop.
How do you prevent some guy just undercutting you guys? And what I mean by that is not offering lower prices, but it's not so hard for some schmuck to go put on a yellow vest, sneak into the sanitation department, grab a truck, rifle through some garbage, get some materials, pass it to a friend of his who's crafting parts in his basement, and
That's
fixing
exactly
cars
what's
in his
happening.
back. That's what's happening.
Yep. And people are repairing on the side of roads and shit.
Can I call you back? All right.
There's no good way around it. In fact, there's about 10 mechanic shops. The way we beat them is I've got a loyal customer base. People know that if they come through us, they're not going to get fucked. So I think
Excuse me, go ahead.
and I think because of the loyal customer base and the many agreements I've made throughout the supply chain, like we've been able to stay up and running. So while we cannot take on the entire island, we can take on enough customers. My mechanics can get paid well because I'm not hiring like every Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? So it's almost a very different game because we have to do our own generation of traffic.
So these independent schmucks that I'm talking about that will kind of put on these vests and undercut actual businesses, that's not something that our union wants to support straight across the board all through the city. And everybody I've talked to, yourself included, and some other partners that I got, are of a similar mind. Now, how crazy of an idea is it? Well, I'll put it this way. It seems to me that the next obvious step is to have a means of communication where if we get word that somebody is doing something like that and not going through the proper channel, to close business off to them entirely across several sectors. What would you say to
like
that idea?
A lot. I like that a lot, to be honest.
Mr. Nino, it's hard to give exclusivity to, say, just one mechanic shop. For example, if you didn't pick up, I was going to be forced to take this truck elsewhere. But
of course.
But it would be another mechanic shop up and running who's doing it the right way with the right channels, who has an actual facility with rules, regulations, employees. And I believe that there needs to be some sort of roundtable, even if it's a not one that actually meet and sit across from each other, where there's an understanding that it's okay to pay a few dollars extra as long as we're supporting actual businesses. And anybody that doesn't abide by that philosophy, we turn our backs on them. Not just one mechanic shop, but mechanics, sanitation, lumber, etc., all across the city.
I think that is a absolutely fantastic idea.
Would you be willing to partake in that roundtable as a business owner?
Absolutely.
Would you be opposed if you had a competent mechanic owner at that roundtable as well?
I am not opposed. This is a big city. I don't I don't look at my the other shops like competition. I look at them as business partners. I think anyone trying to take on the entire sectors like a mechanic shop, which is it's one thing for like yourself running the lumber yard. It's another thing if there was like a furniture companies out there. There's not going to be one. There's going to be a couple, and we got to work with the unions and got to work with each other. Otherwise, we all slowly screw ourselves over, so to speak.
Mr. Chavez, I have no problem with competition as long as people do things the right way. That is my concern. And as far as the lumber, running a lumber union, if somebody can't put on a hard hat, follow a few simple protocols at the yard, then as far as I'm concerned, they got no place to be up there. Period.
I agree. Someone gets
Is that too much to ask for?
No, I don't think
$10
so.
one-time fee with a fucking hard hat and following a few basic lumberjack protocol. If they can't do that, then find something else to do. Period.
I agree. Mr. Kettleman, I got to get going. I got a customer waiting down to the city.
Listen, if the truck is done,
yep,
then we're
I
good to go.
appreciate you.
Tell me how to submit this payment.
Oh, yes. Cashworks, or actually a transfer. We could go down to the bank.
There's an ATM over there. I'll just go ahead and transfer you the cash.
Oh, can you transfer on the ATMs?
Well, I was going to transfer it from my hands to your pockets.
Oh, it's a $2,500 cap on those, unfortunately.
I can't make 2 withdrawals.
Let's see.
So it's 3,200 total.
3,200, yep.
Okay. I'm going to tell my business partners about this roundtable to figure out the solution to these people undercutting every business. I'm going to jot your name down as on board.